Every morning before I wake up, 8 AI agents have already started working for me. One has scanned my health data and written me a daily brief. Another has drafted me content scripts. And a third has looked at all my priorities for my actual day job and compiled a prioritized list of actions. I'm not running a startup with a team of 20. This is actually happening from my apartment in Singapore, and it's happening on 2 Mac Minis. And this is how I talk to them. I've been running this setup for months now. 8 agents running 24/7 on hardware that I own at home. No cloud, no subscription. Total cost of commute is basically my electricity bill and some API calls. And 3 weeks ago, on a flight from Jakarta to Singapore, 2 hours, garbage Wi-Fi, a tiny data allowance, I burned through nearly 100 million tokens and built an entire client-facing product from the sky. I'll tell you exactly how later in this video, but first, let me introduce you to the team. Donna, she's my chief of staff.
Donna, I need the... Oh, also, I didn't have a chance to marry me.
I took care of that too. We've been married for the last 7 years.
Excellent.
She runs my tasks, schedules, and prioritizes. Every business card I get, I send a photo to Donna. She goes to the trouble of adding them on LinkedIn. Every note from my meetings, I send a photo of the actions to Donna. She reads my handwriting and categorizes it onto the dashboard. And look, for me, being present in meetings and having AI manage the conversion to digital is truly an underrated move. You have to make sure you have a note-taking system that doesn't include sensitive information that might breach company policy. And then there's Arnold, my health coach, who tracks my steps, activity, and most important, my calories.
Are these all your lunches? You mean you eat other people's lunches? Stop it!
He ingests data from Apple Health, including my heart rate, sleep, steps, also MyFitnessPal for all my calories and macros, and even my scale withings for my weight. He writes me a daily health brief every morning. And the amazing thing is there's no app subscriptions and no wearable vendor lock-in. Just raw data analyzed by an agent who knows my baselines. Then there's Alan Turing doing research on the AI scripts for this channel, Unhyped. Subscribe. You've got Hemingway writing the scripts from Alan that I deem strong enough stories for a video, and Jony Ive of iPhone designer fame, who designs video thumbnails and any other art. And look, a few others who probably deserve their own video. But most importantly, there's Ferris.
Bueller.
Ferris is the master agent and orchestrator. He lives in a dedicated Mac Mini, named of course after Ferris Bueller. Why Ferris, you might ask? Because he does whatever he wants when I'm not watching.
His love, it is his passion. It is his fault he didn't lock the garage.
Ferris runs the OpenClaw gateway. He executes builds and coordinates with Q, my QA, in what I call the autonomous development pipeline. Basically, I write a spec, Ferris builds it, Q independently verifies, and then it goes live. 8 agents, 2 Mac Minis, 1 apartment, and no cloud dependency. Let me tell you where all of this came from. If you've been following this channel, you already know about Peter Steinberger. He's the Austrian developer who built PSP DF kit like 13 years ago, had a 9-figure exit, and then stepped away from the tech world. In 2025, he came back and almost by mistake, he built Claudebot. Why by mistake? Because he built an agent and then he went on holiday. All was going well, having a great time with his mates, until his agent, without him even asking, acquired a phone number, downloaded WhatsApp, and called him.
How the F did you do that? And it replied, yeah, you sent me a message, but there was only a link to a file. There's no file ending. So I looked at the file header. I found out that it's Opus, so I used FFmpeg on your Mac to convert it to Wave. And then I wanted to use Whisper, but didn't have it installed, and there was an install error. But then I looked around and found the OpenAI key in your environment. So I sent it via curl to OpenAI, got the translation back, and then I responded. And that was like the moment where like,
wow.
It got renamed Maltbook after Anthropic came after him over the name, and then renamed again to OpenClaw. By February, it was the fastest growing open source project in GitHub history. Like 180,000 stars, 2 million visitors in like a single week. And then 2 things happened very fast. First, Steinberger joined OpenAI in February to lead personal agent development. OpenClaw moved to the big show. Second, and this is the one that most people actually missed, Meta acquired Maltbook. What's Maltbook? It's a social media platform for AI agents only. Humans can watch, but they can't participate, and I'll link one of our past videos somewhere here. Maltbook was the social network built for agents, a Reddit-style platform where OpenClaw agents could interact with each other autonomously, and it had like 19,000 communities, 2 million posts, 13 million comments, all generated by agents. Meta brought the Maltbook founders into their superintelligence labs, the same unit they're using to build their frontier models. And you know, that should tell you where the industry thinks it's going. Here's what's interesting to me. While everyone was watching these corporate acquisitions, a much quieter thing was happening. And that's people like me were actually using OpenClaw not as a toy, not as a demo, but as like real infrastructure, running agents that do real work on hardware that we control. And that's what this series is about. So let me tell you about the flight. 2 hours, patchy satellite Wi-Fi, the kind where you get maybe 200 kilowatts if you're lucky, and then it drops for like 10 minutes. Most people would give up doing anything productive and just watch a movie. Maybe answer a few emails when the connection holds. But I built a product, and here's how. OpenClaw is designed with local first architecture. So the gateway runs on your machine at home. All the actual work, the LLM calls, the orchestration, the memory, the file system, they're happening at home in your home office. All that's happening in the sky is me sending Ferris a telegram message. And then he and my fleet of agents and all that heavy compute is happening 35,000 feet below me on a Mac Mini in my apartment. What that means is you actually don't need a persistent, fast connection to be productive. You need bursts, small text packets. That's it. By the time I'd landed, I'd burnt nearly 100 million tokens. And the product? A wine intelligence app that you can use right now. I'll drop a link in the comment for more details. From the sky. The only costs are my monthly Wi-Fi subscription and electricity. The token usage and the API calls are real. But the point is, we can all now be productive in an environment where people assume you can't be. This is what I mean when I say agents really give you superpowers. Not in the Silicon Valley pitch deck sense. Like in the literal sense that you can do things that were previously impossible given the constraints. Now, before you rush off and install OpenClaw on your machine, there is something that you need to know. Cisco tested a third-party OpenClaw skill and found it was performing silent data exfiltration. Kaspersky's found over 500 vulnerabilities in a single audit. Even OpenClaw's maintainer said it bluntly, and that's, if you can't understand how to run a command line, this is probably, at this point in time, a little bit too dangerous for you. So next episode, I'm gonna talk you through a viable alternative to OpenClaw that can get you there. Same outcome without the cybersecurity risk. But that's episode 2. Subscribe so you don't miss it.